In 2024, over 5% of job postings required AI skills. By 2025, that number jumped to over 9%. And right now, it's about to reach 20% this year, and it's not slowing down. But here is what people miss, that it's not only related to AI engineering roles, it's literally all the jobs out there. For example, data analysts are expected to use AI to generate insights faster. Software engineers are expected to use AI to write and build and push code much faster than before. Data engineers are supposed to build pipelines that feed into this AI systems. And not just tech roles, product managers, designers, everybody is expected to have certain level of proficiency in AI. And it's not the bonus anymore, it's the new baseline. The World Economic Forum put it simply that AI and big data are the fastest growing skill area on the planet. So the question isn't about whether should you learn AI, it's about where to start. I am Josh, working as a senior AI engineer in DoorDash, and previously I was at Google, and this is the exact 5-level plan that I wish someone would have shared with me when I started this journey. Before we talk about the roadmap, let's talk about what AI engineering really is, because a lot of people get this wrong. Think of a restaurant. A software engineer builds the kitchen. The stoves, the counter, the ovens, everything is set up and running. An AI engineer walks in and says, "Cool kitchen, now let me add a robot chef that learns your customers' favorite orders, predicts what they'll want tomorrow, and can serve 10,000 people at once without breaking a sweat." You're not growing the vegetables. That's researcher's job. You're also not the one who is building the robot's brain from scratch. That's the job of a data scientist. What you do is leverage that brain that is already built. You pick up the most powerful AI models out there or agentic frameworks and build the products integrating with different software ecosystem that millions of people use. In 2026, that means building AI chatbots or document analyzers or really smart agents that can literally open a browser and click on something and do actions on your behalf, all automatically. It is the most creative and highest leverage skill in the tech right now, and this is your roadmap to get to it. Alright, let's start with level 0. Now, I want to spend a minute here because a lot of people just ignore this, or they just check it off like a 2-day checkbox. If you have never written code before and you're coming from a non-technical background, then your starting point should be Harvard CS50. It's available freely on YouTube as well as on ETX. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that it is one of the best produced educational resources out there. And it's a perfect prerequisite for your AI journey because it teaches you Python, the language that runs almost every AI tool on the planet. It teaches you SQL and databases. As an AI engineer, you will be calling APIs every single day. It teaches you Flask, which is how you run your AI logic into real web application that you can use. Think of CS50 as the rule book that you have to go through before you actually get behind the wheel and drive the car. Level 1, now you know the rules of the road, let's put you in a car. This is the level where your computer science skills actually meet AI for the first time. Now, if you want to build this roadmap without spending months stitching together some random resources out there, then I highly recommend DataCamp. I've partnered with them in this video, and it is the platform that I've used personally to sharpen my Python and AI skills when I was at Google. Now, for this level specifically, DataCamp has 2 back-to-back tracks that I would recommend taking. The first one is AI Fundamentals. This is the conceptual layer, what machine learning actually is, how large language models work under the hood, and how to use AI responsibly. No coding required, just mental models you need to start before building. Now, if you're already familiar with AI basics and you know how to code, then you can directly jump to their Associate AI Engineer Developer track. That's where you'll get hands-on with technical AI, calling the OpenAI API, for example, from your own code, learning prompt engineering properly, working with embeddings and vector databases, and your first real exposure to LangChain and RAG. Together, they are the fastest structured path from zero to actually building the systems I walk through in level 2 and level 3 next. You can also earn a DataCamp certification when you complete the track, and it is trusted and recognized by the industry, and it will help you while you are building the portfolio for your projects as well. DataCamp is trusted by over 19 million learners worldwide. Try both the tracks for free by clicking the link that I am attaching in the description. And I talked about RAG. Now, RAG is one of the most important concepts. It's essentially AI system's ability to search through documents. Just at a high level, what happens is there are a lot of documents. Documents essentially means knowledge base. It could be your wiki pages, it could be your Snowflake data column descriptions, for example, so that AI can go through your document and go through your Snowflake tables and then generate the SQL on its own. For that, you have to embed all of your knowledge bases into a vector database, and then you have to perform semantic search over the documents to finally find the most relevant chunks and then attach it so that LLM can make use of that context. Now, there are two types of RAG. There is RAG and then there is agentic RAG. RAG is when LLMs always append some sort of relevant instruction from your knowledge base. Agentic RAG is when an agent decides whether it should search for context or whether it should do something else. Now, talking about agents, let's go to level 2. Now, level 2 is where things get genuinely advanced and really exciting at the same time. We are going to talk about AI agents. Now, before that, let me also just quickly explain what an AI agent is, because the word is being thrown around so casually that even the systems which have nothing to do with agents, they are also labeled as agentic systems. The main difference between an agentic application and a normal AI application is doing versus telling. For example, you hire a new employee and you tell them that book a flight to London. When you paste it to ChatGPT, it's going to probably show you the steps to book a flight. It might make a Google search, but it will not actually go ahead and book it for you. Versus an AI agent would compare the best prices, it would actually open the browser tab, it will ask for your payment authentication and confirm the flights for you. Now, that's the shift that's happening in AI engineering right now. And to learn how to build agent, you have to learn three things. Number one is LangGraph. It's the traffic control system for your AI. If you're managing a complex operation, let's say a hospital, then you don't just shout instructions randomly at patients. There is a system in place. Triage first and then run diagnosis and then do the treatment, and after that, discharge. LangGraph lets you define the same type of structured logic for your AI system. You will learn LangChain with the DataCamp resource that I shared. LangGraph is like LangChains on steroids, where there can be multiple different chains linking together. For example, first search the information, then evaluate it, then decide what to do next, and then return a result. It turns a single prompt into a multi-step workflow. Now, there are other alternatives out there. For example, Google ADK is there. There's also OpenAI's agent development kit, as well as Claude's agent development kit. But I feel LangGraph is the most widely used open source framework for building new agents. And then second is ADK. My personal preference is LangGraph because of my experience and the fact that it was open source way earlier, so it has better community support. MCP, Model Context Protocol. MCPs are kind of like APIs, but at a simpler level for agent development. There are a lot of third-party companies building their own MCPs. For example, if you want to search for the right code within GitHub, you don't have to crawl through GitHub and then index the documents and store it in vector database and then do a semantic search and also define the semantic search algorithm. No, GitHub has their own MCP that lets you search across any repository. You just have to provide repository name as a function argument. It defines exactly what tools agents are allowed to use and what is the input arguments, what is the output that it will get out of it. You can also build your own MCPs and then it can be used in inter-agent communication. For example, there can be a flight search agent and then a flight booking agent, and two of the agents are sharing context with each other using MCP. Tools and memory. Tools let your agent take actions in the world. It can be about querying a database or executing, let's say, a Snowflake query and then returning its output, or maybe searching the web. It could also be about sending an email or sending a Slack message. All of these things can be defined as Python tool and then can be easily attached to a LangGraph agent. Memory lets it remember what happens 5 steps ago. So if you keep chatting with the agent, sometimes the context bloats, and that's why agent stores it into its permanent memory or summarizes the context and then goes from there. So without that, your context is really small and it doesn't help. Memory can also be used for agent to remember things across the session. For example, you can just tell an agent that, hey, always call me a Jedi. Deep Learning's AI agents in LangGraph is completely free, built by people who actually created the framework. So go through that. For MCP, there's Hugging Face's MCP course, again free, built in partnership with Anthropic, the company that invented MCP. Both the links are in the description. Now here's the problem. A lot of times AI gives you a really good hallucinated response, and that sounds very true and fluent until you do fact check and you can kind of say that AI is completely lying. For example, I asked Gemini what happens in the scene in Ever After movie where Danielle talks about potatoes. Now there's no scene of Daniel talking about potato in the movie, not even remotely close, but it made up a really good story, and it also says why this moment matters, and it said that this is a fan favorite moment. But when I asked, are you sure this happens in the movie, it says, yep, you caught me, I'm not sure because I completely made it up. You accidentally or intentionally set a trap with your first question. As an AI, I should be more careful. So your job is also to know when your AI is lying and stop it there. In AI engineering, this means learning evaluations. You can also build LLM as a judge, where an LLM itself evaluates your agent's response, which is again generated by LLM. You also need to think about system design decisions, when to actually use RAG versus fine tuning, when is a powerful model overkill or a smaller, cheaper one is perfectly fine. These decisions are important, and they are also the ones that they will ask you a lot in the interviews. The best free resource to learn about all these concepts that actually make your AI applications or agents production grade is Eugene Yan's LLM pattern. It's a free article, and it's become one of the most referenced pieces in the AI engineering community. It reads like a masterclass in building AI system that holds up in the real world. Again, link in the description. Level 4 is production, where your AI stops being just an experiment and it is actually an application that millions of users can log in. This is where you need to learn infrastructure. 3 things matter. Number 1 is Docker. Think of it like packaging the machine at an Oreo factory. When Oreo ships cookies, they don't throw them into loose truck. They package them into identically sealed containers so that every store gets the same product. Docker does this for your AI application. It wraps your code, your model, all of its dependency into one sealed container so that it runs identically on your laptop, your co-worker's laptop, or on a server in a data center. Second is cloud. Your laptop can probably serve 5 people, but if you really need to scale, you need cloud resources. My advice here is pick one cloud and go deep in that. Don't try to learn different cloud platforms. AWS if you want the most job options, biggest market share by far. GCP if you want the best AI specific platform. Vertex AI is excellent for ML pipelines. Azure if you're going into enterprise or Microsoft heavy companies. For all 3, Free Code Camp on YouTube has completely free certification preparation that you can take, and you can also opt for the certification itself. I will be linking some additional resources about that in the description. MLOps. Finally, once you have deployed your pipeline or AI system in production, you need to keep checking, for example, running that evaluation framework that we just discussed, or maybe looking at data drift or missing data that happened in production. All of these things come into MLOps. MLOps is the discipline of automated retraining, monitoring, and CI/CD for AI system. The best resource here is made with ML, and it works with any cloud. And finally, the most important thing that I will say in this entire video, don't wait till level 4 until you build something. Build at every level. A Python script at level 0, an API call with LangChain and RAG at level 1, a working agent at level 2, evaluation pipeline at level 3, a deployed chatbot at level 4. Trust me, the resources have never been better. The only thing that's left is just for you to get started. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with as many people as possible who are interested in learning AI. And if you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to drop it in the comment section. I try to get to a lot of comments as much as possible. And that's about it. Stop watching, start building. See you next time.